I'm here with Larry Hountz, and I've been at a training for the past day, and we'll continue the training today on the his microgreen system. I'm so excited to be here, and he's agreed to let me ask him a few questions and interview him for those who might have interest as well. Larry,
Sure.
I've heard this information before, but would you explain how you came to grow microgreens?
Yeah, sure. I used to be a security guru for the feds. Was on my way to a bank audit and got rear-ended at 65 miles an hour and suffered a traumatic brain injury. And couldn't figure out what we were going to do for a living because I don't think the same way I used to. So my wife came home with some tomatoes from Whole Foods. I told her we could grow those and make some money, and she laughed at me. And it morphed into growing microgreens. And so we were growing microgreens and selling microgreens to the local restaurants, and no one ever seen the way that we were growing before because we were selling everything living, and the chefs were harvesting them. And people would see our stuff on the internet and say, "Where'd you buy that equipment?" And I said, "We designed it." And they go, "You designed your own equipment?" And I said, "Yeah, because I didn't like what was out there." Then they said, "Do you sell the equipment?" I said, "Well, we do now." So that's pretty short of it.
Well, it's an amazing story, and
Thanks.
you've become very successful, and I was really drawn to your system myself because I found it was easy to use based on your videos. You've offered a lot of information online for free, and I really appreciate that. It's a
Sure.
great service. Why would anyone want to incorporate microgreens into their diet? It's more than just a garnish these days.
Oh, sure. Chefs use it as a garnish, and that's great. But we actually have a lot of chefs that incorporate it into their dishes. They make haystacks out of it, drizzle it with a little balsamic vinegar, a little salt and pepper, olive oil, and put it as like a little coleslaw side on the plate. But you want to eat them because they contain 40 times more nutrients than the adult plant by volume. So 1 ounce of broccoli microgreens equals 20 ounces of full head broccoli. And I thought it was going to be like eating Chinese food. You know, you eat Chinese food, and an hour later you're hungry. But no, with microgreens, your body gets those nutrients, and it's like, I'm full. And you see these people out there that weigh three plus 100 pounds, what I used to weigh, and they're starving because they're eating donuts and pizza and drinking Cokes, and their body's starving for nutrients. With microgreens, it's not that way. And even the next day, if I don't have microgreens, my body's saying, "Hey, where's my microgreens? Go give me some of those nutrients," because they're just packed with nutrients.
So you incorporate them into your diet daily?
Daily. So we eat about a pad to 2 pads a week of microgreens. And Zhanna will make up some eggs in the morning, and she'll put a big clump of microgreens in the middle. She'll make up some kasha or porridge or stuff like that, buckwheat and stuff like that, and she'll put microgreens in the center of that. She even puts microgreens on her oatmeal. I don't put it on oatmeal. I like oatmeal with a little berries and stuff. But yeah, we put it in everything. And then in the evening, if she'll grill up some fish or make some lentils or whatever, we put a big clump of microgreens in with that dish.
Interesting. Well, we had some interesting conversation yesterday. Based on your knowledge of the world conditions and pollutants and contaminations, etc., what part do you see microgreens playing as we suffer through these kind of conditions in the world?
Well, as climate changes and as different areas become more fertile because of the rain and stuff, and other areas become more deserts, like as climate changes, I think that areas that are populated and have no real produce to grow, heck, you can take a building and grow microgreens in it and sell microgreens. Our room is 10 by 15 feet. We could feed 4 to 5, maybe even 6 city blocks with fresh greens every day, microgreens, and you don't have to eat a whole lot of them. That's the whole thing is, everybody thinks that you got to have a big piece of broccoli, and most people put cheese sauce on it or whatever else. But a big piece of broccoli, no, you just need a little haystack of microgreens, and that's it, and you're good.
Yeah, they are delicious. There's such a variety. Have you experienced any health benefits from incorporating microgreens?
Sure, I can tell you, I was a GMO train wreck. Being a security guy for the computers, all I do was sit in front of a computer eating donuts and drinking Cokes. And I weighed 325, 300 plus pounds, diabetes, type 2, blood sugar at 300. Sometimes I would it would be blurry vision and everything from the sugar diabetes and stuff. And after the accident, and we started eating microgreens, I actually went to the doctor, and the doctor said, Larry, your blood sugar today is at 300. I'm gonna have to keep you and get it down. She said, I can look at the end of your toes and they're turning brown. She said, I'm telling you, you got to do something. This isn't a joke. And my wife was crying, and I got up and I said, we're done. And so I think they thought when I said we're done, I'm going to go home and eat my Snicker bars and my Papa John's pizza and stuff like that. Came home, cleaned out the refrigerator. Zhanna got online and found out about the glycemic index. We eat all of our food via the glycemic index, nothing above 5 or 6 on the glycemic index, nothing white, no white rice, no white bread, no refined sugars, none of that stuff. We've cleaned out our refrigerator. There used to be corn dogs in the freezer, Pepsi Cola in the ice box and stuff like that. Not anymore. Changed it totally. Today I'm down to about 225, 230, fluctuates in that area. Should be down a little bit more. My meds have been cut quite a bit, and it's a huge difference. And I correlated with the microgreens. I think that if my accident was kind of a godsend, I think weighing 300-400 pounds, it's terrible. I mean, health-wise, it was awful. At night, my feet would ache. I would have pins and needles going through my legs. Could barely walk up the stairs some of the times. Today, nothing like that.
Yeah, you're pretty vibrant. I can see it
Thanks.
myself. And you have to go up and down stairs quite a bit. I noticed as well.
Yeah, so we have our row houses is 3 stories,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, we up and down the stairs all day long.
So, Larry, can you tell me the difference between sprouts and microgreens?
Sure. So there's 3 stages of a plant. There's sprouting, microgreens, and then the mini greens or the leafy greens that are starting, and then the adult plant. Sprouts are the first part of the plant. When it first starts to germinate, a little bit of the root comes out and a little bit of the stem comes out. That's when you eat the sprouts. That's peak nutritional value is sprouts. Then microgreens come, and microgreens are actually the first 2 leaves of the plant that open up. And that are those leaves are actually inside the seed itself. So those leaves are actually the adult plant. So like carrot microgreens taste exactly like a carrot because it's the first adult leaves that are coming out from the plant itself. So they taste like the orange carrot or a purple carrot or whatever, not like the green top. As soon as I get that 3rd leaf, then it tastes like the green top of the carrot, which is pretty disgusting tasting. But the first 2 leaves that come out of the plant are the microgreens. When it goes to the 3rd leaf, it's no longer a microgreen. It loses flavor and it loses nutritional value.
Interesting. So I've had a few questions as to what the difference was, and some say that they're virtually the same, but and grown the same, but
No, they're not even growing the same. So that's the other thing is, so the FDA actually used to classify sprouts and microgreens together. There's huge issues with eating sprouts because they're grown in water, and a lot of people don't rotate the water like they should be. They're using field water and stuff like that to germinate the seeds. There's a lot of controls on sprouts. Sprouts, you're eating the water part, the seed and everything. So if there's any contaminations like E. coli or salmonella in the water, they're going to be on the seed. Microgreens, you're eating the chlorophyll part. You're eating above the root. So you're actually eating about a 1/4 inch above where it goes into the soil or the coconut fiber up to the top of the stem. So you're eating all the green part, which has no contact really with the water. So getting E. coli and salmonella from microgreens is very, very rare. It does happen. There are some cases of it that have happened, but from sprouts, there's a lot more cases of it happening because of the way they're growing.
interesting. So it's safer to grow microgreens for sure.
Sure.
And to eat microgreens. What do you suggest for those who want to incorporate more microgreens into their diet then?
Home kit, grow your own. It's real easy to grow. We sell home kits, but you don't have to buy our home kit. If you look at how we designed our home kit, it's pretty easy to do. You can take a Pyrex dish, right? Because it's food safe. I would recommend to make sure it's food safe and not to use any plastics that you're not sure of. You can put in some coconut fiber in the bottom of it, sprinkle some seeds on it, water it, put it under a light, put it in the windowsill even, in the sun, and it'll germinate the microgreens and they'll come up. The main part of it is to make sure that you water from the top during germination and you water from the bottom during vegetative state when it's growing the green chlorophyll, because they're so delicate. If they get water in between the stems, they'll start to rot. But the key part is to germinate well and to water it really well during germination.
Well, you've just answered my last two questions, which were how easy and economical are they to grow, and tell us about your home kit. And you've done that, and I've seen it online. You have all the instructions, and it seems so easy to do. And it's what actually drew me to your system, is just how easy it is.
And the thing is, your seeds. You want to make sure that you just don't buy seeds down at the Dollar General store or wherever, where there's in those little packets. I would recommend buying from like a company like Mountain Valley or True Leaf Seed Company. You can buy an ounce of seeds there, and they actually have free shipping if you spend more than $35. And an ounce of seeds is enough to do a nice big tray of microgreens on your countertop. And so, but if you buy those little packets, it takes a lot of those little packets, and the $30 adds up really quick.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Larry, for
You're
this
welcome.
information. Do you have any parting words?
No, happy growing, and check out our videos online.
Okay, thank you so much.